It didn't start with a breakup. It started with a look, a half-second eye roll, when you were talking about something that mattered to you. A joke, at your expense. That got a little too comfortable. A message you sent, ignored, while she laughed at her phone, and you told yourself, it's nothing. But it wasn't nothing. It was the beginning of something very real. The slow, silent removal of your position as a man she respects. And here's the truth most men never hear. Respect doesn't disappear all at once. It erodes, moment by moment, while you're busy trying to be a good guy. By the time you feel it, you've already lost leverage, attraction, and control. Today, you're going to see exactly how it happens, and more importantly, how to stop it and rebuild it from the inside out. Disrespect isn't shouting. It's not even arguments. Disrespect is when she starts seeing you as beneath her, not equal, not a partner, below. And it shows up in ways most men ignore. She dismisses what you feel, like it doesn't matter. She makes jokes that slowly chip at your image. She crosses lines and watches if you'll do anything about it. And when you don't, she learns something dangerous. There are no consequences. This is where most men make the fatal mistake. They think, if I love her more, provide more, tolerate more, she'll respect me again. So they give more time, more patience, more effort. And what happens? She gives less. Because you didn't fix the problem. You trained it. There's a pattern. A man gets disrespected, and instead of drawing a line, he leans in. He becomes softer, more agreeable, more available, and slowly, something breaks. He starts walking on eggshells. He filters his words. He avoids conflict. He tolerates things that would have disgusted him before. And one day he looks in the mirror and realizes he's not the same man she was attracted to. He became safe, predictable, and worst of all, replaceable. This is called identity erosion. And once it starts, it doesn't stop on its own. Here's what most men don't understand. Relationships don't fail randomly. They fail predictably. There's a pattern that shows up in almost every broken relationship. Criticism, defensiveness, emotional shutdown, but above all, contempt. That look, that tone, that subtle disrespect. That's the point of no return. And here's the part that should wake you up. When negative interactions become equal to or greater than positive ones, the relationship is already collapsing. At that point, every conversation feels like tension. Every moment feels heavier. And eventually, she stops seeing you as someone she looks up to and starts seeing you as someone she tolerates. This isn't just about your relationship. This is happening to men everywhere. Men today are more isolated than ever. Less close friends, less real connection, more pressure to figure everything out alone. So when a man finally gets into a relationship, he holds on, even when it's damaging him, even when he knows something's wrong. Because losing her feels worse than losing himself. So he tolerates things he shouldn't. And that tolerance becomes the foundation of her disrespect. Because people don't respect what they don't fear losing. This is where everything changes. Not outside, inside. You need to understand this. You cannot control her behavior, but you control what you allow. And there's a moment, right before you react, right before you defend yourself, or argue, or explain, where you choose, am I reacting from emotion or from control? That pause is power. Because when you stop reacting, you stop feeding the dynamic that's destroying you. You stop chasing validation. You stop negotiating your worth, and for the first time, you become stable, unshaken, unmoved, and that alone changes how she sees you. Now we get practical, because silence alone isn't enough. You need to speak, but differently, not emotional, not aggressive, not defensive, clear, controlled, direct. When she disrespects you, you don't attack, you don't insult, you don't beg. You say, "When you speak to me like that, it doesn't work for me." Pause. "I need this to be handled differently." And then you stop talking. No over-explaining, no chasing agreement. You hold the frame, and if it continues, you enforce it. "I'm stepping away from this conversation. I'll come back when it's respectful." And you leave. Not dramatically, not emotionally, calm, controlled, final. Because respect is not negotiated, it's enforced through behavior. Here's the truth most men avoid. If nothing changes, you must be willing to walk away, not as a threat, not as manipulation, as a decision. Because staying in a situation that destroys your self-respect doesn't make you loyal, it makes you complicit. When you step back, reduce attention, reduce availability, refocus on your life, one of two things happens. She feels the shift and adjusts, or she doesn't. And that tells you everything you need to know. Because the right person doesn't need to be convinced to respect you. They do it naturally. When you show them you respect yourself. From this point forward, you don't ignore small disrespect. You address it early. You don't overgive to earn respect. You maintain boundaries to command it. You don't react instantly. You pause and choose your response. And most importantly, you build a life where losing her doesn't mean losing yourself, because the man who is willing to walk away is the man who never has to beg to stay. If this hit you, you already know why. You've felt it, you've seen the shift, and now you understand it. So the question is, what are you going to do next? Stay where you are, or take your power back? Drop a comment below. I choose respect. Like the video if this opened your eyes. Share this to the person you know who also needs this. And subscribe to Void Response. Because the man who understands this is the man no one can replace and no one can disrespect.